My wife's MS Rachel obsession took a dark turn scary. It started innocently enough. Lily was a fussy baby, colicky, wouldn't sleep. Sarah was a wreck, dark circles under her eyes, hair always in a messy bun, surviving on lukewarm coffee and the sheer force of motherhood. I was doing my best, but IT work doesn't exactly lend itself to middle-of-the-night feedings. Then Sarah found MS Rachel. I'll admit I was skeptical at first. Another brightly colored, overly enthusiastic kids show. Great, but Lily was mesmerized. The simple songs, the exaggerated expressions, the way MS Rachel spoke directly to the camera, it was like magic. Suddenly, we had an hour of peace. Sarah could shower, I could catch up on emails, and Lily was happy. For a while, it was a godsend. Lily started babbling, mimicking the words from the songs. Bah, she'd say, pointing at her ball. Up, she'd reach her chubby arms towards the ceiling. Sarah was beaming. She seemed lighter, more like her old self. It's working, Dan, she'd say, her eyes sparkling with genuine joy. She's learning so much, but then it started to shift. Subtle things at first. Sarah started watching MS Rachel even when Lily wasn't around. I'd come home from work and find her sitting on the couch, transfixed, the same damn songs playing over and over again. I'd ask her what she was doing, and she'd just say, learning, Dan. Learning how to be a better mommy. She started talking like MS Rachel too. Simple sentences, sing-songy voice. Lily needs her num-nums, she'd say, even when Lily was clearly reaching for a toy. It was cute at first, but then it got weird, unnatural. I tried to talk to her about it. Honey, maybe Lily needs a break from the TV. We could go to the park or read a book. Her eyes flashed. But MS Rachel is teaching her so much, she needs to learn her shapes, her colors. Her voice was tight, strained. I know, but maybe it's too much. You don't understand, Dan. You just don't understand. She turned away, her gaze glued back to the screen. MS Rachel was singing about the letter A. Lily started acting strange too. She'd sit inches from the TV, her eyes wide and unblinking, repeating phrases from the show in a monotone voice. Clap your hands, she'd say, clapping mechanically, even when no one asked her to. She seemed less interested in her toys and interacting with us. Everything was about MS Rachel. One evening, I came home to find Sarah and Lily sitting on the floor, surrounded by construction paper and crayons. Sarah was drawing a lopsided sun, her tongue sticking out in concentration. Lily was watching her, her expression blank. What are you doing? I asked. Sarah looked up, her eyes unfocused. MS Rachel said we should draw a sun. It's yellow. Dan, like the sun. She held up the drawing, her smile wide and unsettlingly childlike. Okay, that's great, honey. But shouldn't Lily be playing with her blocks or something? Sarah's smile faltered. MS Rachel knows best, Dan. She knows what Lily needs. That night I had a dream. I was standing in our living room, but everything was off. The colors were too bright, the furniture too big. MS Rachel was on the TV, but her face was distorted, her voice a low, guttural growl. She was looking directly at me, her eyes black and empty. She's ours now, she rasped. Forever. I woke up in a cold sweat, my heart pounding. I started to limit Lily's screen time, sneaking the tablet away when Sarah wasn't looking. I suggested playdates, trips to the library, anything to break the cycle. Sarah fought me every step of the way. She became increasingly agitated, accusing me of trying to sabotage Lily's development. One afternoon, I took Lily to the park. Sarah was supposed to be working, but I caught her watching us from across the street, her face pale and drawn. It felt like she was spying on us. I started confiding in David, my best friend. He listened patiently, offering words of encouragement. Maybe Sarah needs to talk to someone, Dan. It sounds like she might have some postpartum depression. I knew he was right. I'd suggested therapy before, but Sarah had always brushed it off. I'm fine, Dan. MS Rachel is helping me. Finally, I convinced her to see Dr. Carter, a therapist specializing in postpartum issues. The first few sessions seemed promising. Sarah was actually talking, admitting she felt overwhelmed and lost. But then things took another turn. After one session, Sarah came home and locked herself in the bathroom. I could hear her sobbing, her voice muffled. I knocked on the door, begging her to let me in. Finally, she opened it, her face streaked with tears. Dr. Carter said. She said MS Rachel isn't good for Lily. She said it's unhealthy. Honey, she's just trying to help, but MS Rachel is helping. She's the only one who understands. That night, I heard Sarah talking in her sleep. Not just mumbling but full sentences. Yes, MS. Rachel, I understand. I'll do whatever you say. Sent a shiver down my spine. Things escalated quickly after that. Sarah started spending all her time with Lily watching MS. Rachel drawing pictures, singing songs. She stopped cooking, cleaning, even showering. The house became a mess, overflowing with toys and dirty dishes. I was working longer hours trying to keep everything afloat. One evening I came home to a strange scene. The living room was dark, the only light coming from the TV. Sarah and Lily were sitting on the floor facing the screen. Sarah was swaying back and forth, humming a tune. Lily was staring blankly ahead. Honey, what's going on? Sarah didn't respond. I walked closer and that's when I noticed the TV. It wasn't playing a normal MS. Rachel video. The colors were distorted, the images flickering. MS. Rachel's voice was deeper, slower, almost demonic. Welcome, little ones, the distorted voice rasped. Welcome to our family. Lily giggled. I reached for the remote, but Sarah grabbed my hand, her grip surprisingly strong. No, Dan, don't, she's talking to us. I tried to pull away, but she held on tight, her nails digging into my skin. Her eyes were wide and glazed over like she was in a trance. MS. Rachel wants us all to be a family, she said, her voice a strange, childlike imitation of MS. Rachel's, forever and ever. Panic surged through me. Sarah, this isn't you, what's happening? She didn't answer. She just kept staring at the TV, her smile fixed and unsettling. The distorted MS. Rachel on the screen was looking directly at me, its eyes burning into my soul. I ripped my hand away from Sarah's grip and lunged for the TV. I fumbled with the power button, but nothing happened. The screen remained on, the distorted image of MS. Rachel mocking me. I grabbed the TV and tried to yank the cord out of the wall, but it wouldn't budge. It was like it was glued in place. A cold wave washed over me and the air in the room seemed to thicken. Suddenly, Sarah lunged at me, knocking me to the ground. She straddled me, pinning me down with surprising force. Her eyes were wild, her face contorted in a grotesque parody of MS. Rachel's cheerful expression. You can't stop us, Dan, she hissed. MS. Rachel needs us. We all need her. I struggled against her, but she was too strong. It was like she wasn't even Sarah anymore. Something else was in control. I managed to kick her off me and scrambled to my feet. I grabbed Lily, scooped her up in my arms and ran. I didn't look back, I just ran. I burst out of the house, gasping for air. I ran to Mrs. Henderson's house, our elderly neighbor. I pounded on the door, shouting for help. Mrs. Henderson opened the door, her eyes widening in alarm. Daniel, what's wrong? What happened? Sarah. It's Sarah. She's not herself. I begged her to take Lily just for a few minutes while I called the police. Mrs. Henderson, bless her heart, didn't hesitate. She took Lily inside, her face etched with concern. I called the police, my hands shaking so badly I could barely dial the number. I tried to explain what had happened, but it sounded insane even to me. The police arrived quickly, sirens blaring. They searched the house, but everything seemed normal. The TV was off. Sarah was calm and collected, and Lily was playing quietly with Mrs. Henderson. The police looked at me skeptically. Mr. Miller, are you sure you're feeling all right? You seem very agitated, but she was. The TV, MS, Rachel. They exchanged glances. Mr. Miller, perhaps you're just stressed. Maybe you need to get some rest. They left, shaking their heads. I stood there on the sidewalk, feeling like I was going crazy. Had I imagined it all? Was I just sleep-deprived and stressed out? I went back to the house, my heart pounding. I had to know what was going on. I had to find some answers. The house was silent, too silent. I walked inside, my senses on high alert. Everything seemed normal, but there was an unsettling feeling in the air, like something was watching me. I went into the living room. The TV was off, the screen blank. I looked around, searching for any clue, any sign of what had happened. That's when I saw it. A small hand-drawn picture tucked behind the TV. It was a picture of MS Rachel, but it wasn't the MS Rachel from the show. This MS Rachel had sharp teeth, glowing red eyes, and long claw-like fingers. Underneath the picture, scrawled in childlike handwriting, were the words, "Our forever mommy." A chill ran down my spine. I knew then that I wasn't crazy. Something was terribly wrong. I started digging, searching for anything that could explain what was happening. I went through Sarah's journals, her emails, her social media accounts. I found nothing. It was like she had completely erased herself, leaving no trace of her former self. Finally, I decided to research the MS Rachel show itself. I wanted to know who created it, what their intentions were. I started with a simple internet search, but the results were vague and unhelpful. There was very little information about the show's creator, a woman named Rachel something. I dug deeper, scouring obscure websites and forums. I found a few conspiracy theories, whispers of a darker purpose behind the show, but I dismissed them as the ramblings of internet crazies. Then, I found something that made my blood run cold. An old forum post from years ago, written by someone claiming to be a former employee of the MS, Rachel show. The post claimed that the show was originally designed as a form of mind control, a way to influence young children through subliminal messaging and hypnotic techniques. The poster claimed that the show was created by a group of individuals with ties to a shadowy organization, and that the MS, Rachel character was based on an ancient entity, a demon that fed on the innocence of children. I scoffed at the absurdity of it, but a nagging feeling of dread persisted. I kept reading. The poster claimed that the show had been shut down years ago after several children exhibited strange and disturbing behaviors. The show was later revived with new people. I tried to dismiss it as a hoax, but the details were too specific, too unsettling. I couldn't shake the feeling that there was some truth to it. I looked at the date of the post. It was several years old. The MS. Rachel show was still on the air, still popular with millions of children around the world. Had they changed it? Had they made it better, or was it just waiting? I went to Lily's room. She was asleep in her crib, her face peaceful. I watched her for a long time, my heart aching with love and fear. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to trust. As I was about to leave the room, I heard something, a faint humming sound. I stopped and listened. It was coming from Lily's crib. I leaned closer and saw that Lily was humming in her sleep, a familiar tune. It was the theme song from MS, Rachel. I froze, my blood turning to ice. Lily continued to hum, her eyes still closed. The tune was slightly off-key, distorted, almost demonic. Then she stopped humming and opened her eyes. She looked directly at me, her expression blank. MS. Rachel loves you, she whispered, her voice a chilling imitation of Sarah's. She loves us all.